All right, guys, we have 5 new comics that made our drop list, so stay tuned to see which ones they are.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back, Gainers, to another fantastic, exciting episode of Comic Gains! And if you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess Royal Highness, looking very lovely today, just like usual, doing our princess way, so bow down and respect.
Nice. All right, guys, so today is Monday, and we have a brand new drop list for you, because every week, surprisingly, some comics go down in price. Believe it or not, that happens, right? Every once in a while?
Every once in a while.
Princess
It's a bear claw.
The bear claw. So so we got a brand new drop list for you. It's super exciting. We got some. This one was actually really easy to find some books that were hot a year ago that made the drop. This
one was here.
There's some books that went down. And one thing that also goes down pretty smooth is what's that?
An energy drink. Yeah, I'm still on an energy kick, guys. Still dropping that weight. And still dropping these energy drinks in my mouth. This here is a Mountain Dew Energy Tropical Sunshine. Pretty cool can. Do the do, guys.
Do the do.
25 calories. Not too bad.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Usually they load the heck out of the sugar.
Gives you immune system and mental boost.
A boost.
A boost in the booth.
Boost off my head.
I don't like that one that much.
Isn't that good?
No.
Probably doesn't have sugar.
Tastes healthy.
Ugh,
no.
Vegetables.
No.
Oh, no. All right, guys. So let's get into some good old-fashioned drop Comic Gains goodness for you. So how the drop list works is the Comic Gains group
Wait for me.
scours the internet for hot lists or trending lists from 1 year ago, and we try to figure out which books have dropped significantly in price. And a lot of times these are good times for you guys or us to buy these books that are on the drop list. And actually recently we bought a couple books off the drop list that we're drinking our own medicine here. But sometimes there's some books you just want to forget about altogether. There's kind of like, maybe nothing's ever going to happen with this book. So, and it's a good idea to know about that. So sometimes you go to a shop and they still have the old prices, from a year ago. Because it's hard to change prices on things constantly. So you may be like, oh man, that was really good price. But maybe that was a year ago good price.
Yes.
Now it's not. Then we've all done that. I've done that. Now
it's on the drop.
Now it's on the drop. So let's kick it off. We have 3 of these 5 books on the drop list. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad, Sometimes you wish you had some, sometimes you wish you didn't. So we'll kick the list out. And surprisingly, there's a little bit of everything. We've got Marvel, DC, and Indie on this list. So that's pretty cool. So kick it off first. We got Earth 2 from DC Comics, 2014. Andy Kubert and Tom Taylor were the creative group on this book. Now, this is kind of cool doing some research on this, figuring out a little bit more about Val Zod, which is a pretty cool character. This whole Earth 2 series is like a completely separate universe from the regular DC universe, but a very cool one, I think. There's a lot of cool stuff that goes on with different Batman. You got the old Green Lantern coming back as a different character, Alan Scott, and all that different stuff. But this is first cover appearance of Val Zod in... first cover appearance. So there's 2 issues before this. You have first appearance of Val Zod, and in issue 19, which is kind of close in price. They're kind of similar in price. This one, I think this one has a better cover overall, which kind of garnished that little bit higher value to begin with. Yeah, and there's actually one right before, I think, which is first appearance in costume or something like that, but he's not on the cover of that one, which is a little bit cheaper. So keep in mind, there's a few keys that go on with Val Zod. It kind of gets confusing if you're into that kind of thing. But importantly, in July of 2021, Michael B. Jordan announced that he's going to be producing a Val Zod TV show for HBO. So this book started going crazy a year ago when they announced that. And I know a lot of people are trying to figure out which Superman Michael B. Jordan was going to do, and that increased a lot of different Superman books. And this is the one that kind of got the stamp of approval at the end. So, but you know how that goes when they do the big announcement, things get hot, and then you don't hear anything for a little while, things start to go down, which doesn't mean this is a bad investment. But another thing to keep an eye out for, and I didn't know this, there is a newsstand version of this book from 2014. So that's got to be pretty freaking rare, considering I think 2015 is the last year they did newsstands for DC. But Zach, how's this book dropping? How far did it drop?
2011, Marvel stopped doing newsstands at the 2011.
Word.
Anyways, and so prices a year ago was just right around $360 for a CGC 9.8. Now it's $177.50. Ow. The range is $177.50 to $525. So it's at the low as of right now, the lowest it's ever been. Average sales $343.88. So that's kind of weird. Yeah, I mean, if you see one raw, pick one up. Why not? If you just like CGC, pick that up for $177. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it should be something should come of this, so it's definitely going to go back up when the show comes out. You run that DC risk of DC keys that should be worth a lot more money that aren't because they're DC, and you just never know. I'm hoping with all these lists we're doing and everything that HBO does DC justice.
Yeah.
Huh?
DC justice.
Gives it some justice and puts out some really awesome shows that makes all their books worth a ton of money, and you never know. But at this point in our lives, you never know what DC
Comic book justice.
God. Oh. Yeah.
Oh. That's a good idea.
Yeah, right? So, cool book. All right. Next book on the list is Exiles #3 from 2018. Unfortunately, we don't have this book. This is done by Javier Rodriguez and Saladin Ahmed, who has been doing a lot of Spider-Man goodness lately, really writing some good stuff. But this book is important because it is first full appearance of Peggy Carter as Captain America in kind of like a what-if kind of scenario. I think it was not like directly in continuity. The Exiles books are kind of strange. It's weird that this book is such a huge book and the rest of the books in that series are not so good. But
Trash.
yeah, but it's cool. It's a really cool book overall. Obviously, there's been a lot going on with Peggy Carter, and they did the Real What If series cartoon where she was Captain Carter, so she's like a British version of Captain America, which is kind of different. On a side note, this cover is really weird because there's like a Wolverine cartoon version of him on the cover with like two regular looking characters on there. So kind of cool. Definitely got hot, a year ago with everything going on. You had the What If show coming out. You had the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange, where she got to see her in real live action again. Everyone loves Haley Atwell, all that goodness. But just a cool book. It's kind of was really hot at that time. It's kind of dropped a little bit down. I think it also has to do with that Captain Carter #1 coming out being her real first appearance as a kind of a different character. So it's kind of it's all confusing, multiversal confusion. Because Captain Carter as Captain America is different than Captain Carter as the British version. But anyway, as that goes,
I'm already confused.
I know, I'm already confused. But just so you know, there is a 1 in 10 version of this that looks awesome and is worth a good amount of money. And surprisingly, there's a 1 in 25 that looks like crap and is worth nothing.
Really
yeah.
bad.
So keep that in mind. It's not all the times is the higher ratio better. In this case, it is not. And I don't know, Zach. How much further can this book go down, and what do you think about it?
Yeah, surprisingly, it didn't drop too crazily, but it did drop. Prices a year ago for a CGC 9.8 was $356. Now you can get it for a cool $250.
Ooh.
Range is $202.50 to $649.99. Average is $4 to $649, so it's towards the low, not the lowest it's been, but pretty dang low. This is a hard one because here's the thing. She died. Well,
it's okay. It's late. Yeah, it's pretty late.
It's late.
We've already had another movie.
Yeah.
TV show.
She died, but she's also in at least Peggy Carter as a version of a superhuman kind of Captain America or Captain Britain version. I don't know. But there's still the What If Carter, Peggy Carter. That, I mean, when the What If show comes out, it might get a nice little uptick in price, but also might just stay, as is. I mean, it's a lot of risk. It's a fun cover, but it's a lot of risk buying the book and with the intentions of flipping it. If you just wanted to add it in your collection, I'd probably just buy a raw copy. Don't even invest in a CGC 9.8. I would say.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to think like 10 years down the line you might be able to flip it for a lot of it. Maybe.
Maybe.
But that's a long shot.
But if you like the character, at least get a raw copy. Put it in a top loader. You'll be fine.
Enjoy it for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy it. Okay. Next up on the list, we got some craziness here. We have a free comic book day made the drop list. Free. We're talking, this is something that like they gave out at your LCS on that special day of the year when you show up and they give you a bunch of cool free comic books. And we have this one, so that's kind of exciting. So you have free comic book day, Astounding Wolfman #1 from 2007. Ooh. Pretty cool. Obviously, the story on this is Robert Kirkman and Jason Howard. Pretty dope. It's actually, I think ours is stamped. We got this in a weird collection where they were all stamped, but it's still a fun book to have. This basically got hot a year ago in July of 2021 when they announced that they're going to be using Wolfman in Invincible Season 2. And they were like, hey, this is Robert Kirkman character. We want to bring him in to the Invincible TV show for Season 2. Get ready. You know, and then this book just like takes off. It was already kind of expensive already because people kind of liked Wolfman. He has a bunch of stories already with Invincible in the comics. Like he's in the Invincible story. They have a couple team up issues. You know, Invincible's not really like a closed off universe. Like he kind of branches out with a lot of other people in Image when you like read into it. There's a lot of the characters that bounce back and forth within his universe. So it's, you know, obvious that they could use other stuff going on. But there hasn't been an Invincible Season 2 in a while, and I'm hurting. Dude, I think I've watched Season 1 at least 3 times. Like, I liked it so much. I think I watched it at least 3 times. I'm probably going to watch it again before Season 2 comes out, because it was freaking ridiculously good. And when you have these TV shows on these streaming networks, when it's on, the books are hot, and when it's off, the books go low, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with Wolfman. If he's like, I kind of doubt he'd be on the whole series. They probably just have him on one episode. Yeah. You know, he's not really like the star of a season, but it's a cool book, and it's fun to have a free comic book day hit these highs, because, you know, like somewhere, some shop had like hundreds of these, and now they're all worth a bunch of money, and they were free. Yes. So I don't know, Zach, what do you got? What you got on this one?
So interesting. So sales a year ago was between $169 and $180, and sales now there hasn't been any sales. So this is kind of hard to say it's a drop, but no one's buying it. No one's buying it. There are books on there for sale, but no one's buying it, no one's listening. So that kind of led me to the next thing. It's like, how many CGC 9.8s are there? Well, why isn't there hardly any on there? There's only 18, and there's only 29 graded of everything else total.
What?
Yeah, it's like nothing. It's like none graded. But yeah, nobody has any interest in this book buying it right now. So you might be able to. There's like 2 posted on eBay right now. I think.
Are they both 9.8s?
9.8s. I think it's the same person. And for $250, I bet you can get it for like $100. They probably just want to get rid of it right now. Just contact them, see what happens. So this is kind of like,
maybe I'll do that.
There's none graded. There's like none graded, and there's very few 9.8s.
I like anything to do with Invincible, so that might be a shot.
It might be worth getting. For me, it doesn't excite me enough to like go after that book, but yeah, it's something to think about. Something to think about if you like Invincible.
I didn't know it was that low on the census. That's really cool. That's interesting.
Yeah. And hardly any sales. No one's buying it right now.
Ridiculous.
It's dropped.
Right?
Loosely.
Okay. Next up on the list, we have some Moon Knight goodness. And we don't have this book, unfortunately. I wish we did have this. This is a book I wish I did have. It was just way too expensive when I was deciding to collect this run. And maybe now's a good time to get it. We have Moon Knight #3. This is from the first ongoing series from 1981. You got the awesome Bill Sienkiewicz cover, and Doug Monik is the writer on this one. But you have first appearance of Midnight Man, a costume thief and basically an adversary for Moon Knight. This is just an awesome looking cover. You got Mona Lisa in the middle between both of them fighting, and they both look cool in their costumes. Midnight Man actually looked really cool in his costume, but we did get to see Midnight Man in the TV show, in the Moon Knight show. He got the one, I think only 1 or 2 episodes, but he's played by Gaspar Ulliss, and he was actually the actor that passed away after the TV show came out. So in a car accident, he got like a head injury. So that's incredibly sad that all that happened. But just a cool book. And I remember when we were going to some shops when this, I think before the TV show actually came out and they had announced the actor that was going to be in it, there's a couple shops that were like asking $150 for this raw, $200. I think at that one shop we went raw, and I was like, they're like, this is the book to get out of that Moon Knight run. And like, it was almost like more expensive than number one. It was crazy, and I was like, I really want this book, but I'm not going to drop like over $100 on it. Luckily, though, it has gone down in price a little bit, so now might be a good time if you're still trying to complete the run. I don't know, Zach. What are the numbers on this bad boy?
Harsh. It's very harsh.
I know.
So, prices a year ago, for the people that bought a year ago, is $427.50 for a CGC 9.8. Now, $125.
For a 9.8?
Yeah, it's basically a quarter. It's basically almost a
I'm
quarter.
not even collecting this book and grade it, but I might have to for that
Right?
cheaper price. Jesus.
The low, $125, which is right now.
Mm-hmm.
High, it was as high as $950.
Yeah.
$950.
I can believe that.
Average sale, $454.73. I mean, I don't know how much of a spec you can go out for this, but
Unfortunately.
like
yeah.
Adam was saying, if this is a time to complete your Moon Knight run, the most expensive book in that run is now one of the cheaper ones.
Yeah, I mean, a more reasonable
More
price.
reasonable.
Yeah. Now number one's back to the top again, but
Yeah.
There's some good books in that run, and it's not overly long too.
Yeah.
It's like 39 issues, right?
Yeah. It's not that long of a series. Yeah,
All
this is
good covers.
This is a time to get it.
Not one bad cover. It's great.
It's
great.
Fantastic.
It's great goodness. Okay. Last but not least, we actually have two books just to show you, because this one's a little bit of a controversy, and I'd like to get the comic community, maybe you guys can help shed a little bit of light on this. Sort of like a weird, you can't tell which one, but we have Department of Truth #1, the 6th print, 1:50 ratio. This is pretty cool. This is the Mark Simons cover, and obviously James Tynion the fourth did the cover on this one. But this is kind of like, obviously the story is freaking ridiculous. It's near and dear to my heart. I've read every issue that comes out. It's going to be amazing when they make a TV show on this. If you guys haven't read this, I highly recommend it. It's all crazy government conspiracies that tie into this like awesome ongoing story where people believe things and they come true and they got to stop it from coming true, and it's back and forth twisted goodness, and all the conspiracies are based on real life possible conspiracies, as much as you want to go down that rabbit hole. But when they did the 6th printing, this is kind of weird. When this book came out, because it was really confusing which one was going on. You do have this yellow copy, which is the real 6th printing. And when this came out, there was all this like error talk. I remember Princess got one at the LCS. She's like, "This is like a $40 book. Like it's an error one right off the bat." And she's like, "They had a whole bunch of them just sitting on the shelf." And you still, even to this day, you can see them on eBay listed as the error printing one.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't understand.
I don't know
why it's the error printing one. And strangely enough, we're really talking about the 1:50 ratio, which was a really dope cover actually, and it was really expensive, but it's pretty freaking reasonable now for a great book in a huge ratio of a 6th printing. It's like, me and Zach are saying, like, why would they ever do a ratio of a later printing? That's weird. I mean, they do it, but it's weird anyways.
I don't get it. I don't even know how they track it.
More importantly though, Zach, what do you think? What's going on with this book?
So, prices a year ago for CGC 9.8 was $88. Not bad.
Yeah.
Now, $29.60. Range is $19.99 to $88. Average is $45.07. I mean, if you compare it to Something's Killing the Children, if it was the same kind of idea, that 150 would be super rare. It'd be very expensive. But it's not Something's Killing the Children. So it's kind of like, for $27, I mean, $29, I mean, give it a shot. It's 150. Let's say it has 100,000 print run. There's only 2,000 of them.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably less. I mean, $30 for a gamble of something that could be the same level as Something's Killing the Children.
If the show comes out and it's going to be awesome, which I think they had like a bidding war for the show. That's how many people wanted to do the show. It wasn't like they had to sell it to one studio. Like people were like, I want this on our network. We'll pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very feasible. It could happen. So $30 is pretty cheap when you think about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Just a lot of confusion when that book came out because we even got that in a Box Heroes box and they didn't even have it labeled as like the 1 in 50. I didn't even know we had the 1 in 50 until we decided to do this list. I was like, let me look through my Department of Truth. I'm like, oh, there's a 1 in 50 in here, and it's like, it's crazy. And we had that whole error thing. I don't know. It's like the confusion never got a final answer. At least we didn't get a final. Maybe you guys were like, just putting the question out to you. If you know an answer to this conundrum, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think.
Please help.
Or just give us your opinion on it.
That book is trash.
You never know.
Something.
You never know. All right, that's going to wrap up the drop list for this last week in July. We're still in July, right?
Gosh.
No.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so. Princess says yes. That means we're still in July. A couple more days left. But as usual, guys, if you like the show, love the show, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button so we can keep laying down more of these drop lists for you. And hit that notification bell because the next episode you see will be live on Wednesday. So you want to make sure you check out the live show. I know every once in a while some more people I think would making the show. It's surprising that so many of you guys make the show. It's awesome. You know, we have such a great time with all of you guys making the live show. If you got any questions, write them down because you can ask them. We'll try to answer them on the live show. And yeah, Zach, you got anything else?
Yeah, sure. How you do this? I might have done this one already, but it's a really good show that I liked watching when I was a kid. So it's this guy, he's kind of delinquent at school. He dies trying to save a kid. He finds out if he didn't save that kid, the kid would have been even more fine and you would have still lived. But, you know, whatever. We're going to try to make you come back to life and be like a spirit detective. And then he does all through the tribulations. And really, you can stop right after the first tournament, the big tournament, because after that, some people say it's kind of trash. I don't mind watching. That's how you become Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Who is actually Yu Yu Hakusho?
I don't know. I don't know what the Yu Yu Hakusho. Maybe like that's his middle name. The last part of his middle name. But there's nobody in there called Yu Yu Hakusho. Main character is Yusuke Urameshi.
Maybe there's a translation we're missing.
Or maybe that's how you say the name.
And
then we butchered it because we couldn't say it very well.
All right, guys. Until we see you next time, stay safe and remember.
Get those spirit ball games. Wait, no. Spirit gun games.
Yeah, it's a gun. The other guy has a gun. The red-haired guy has a gun.
No. Red-haired guy has a sword. And then he has a gun. Then, pew. Okay. Anyways.
We'll go with it.
Yay. Get those spirit gun games. Ow.